I don't fear the dark voids beyond order because they can kill or harm me. I fear them because they can grow the uncontrollable madness in me. We all have that part of ourselves we're afraid of, and we all stand in awe of it at times. We are in awe of Cthulhu, not because of his terrible presence, but our own. Now, I wrote this for this segment, and I think it's very true. We don't fear beings like Cthulhu because he is something in and of himself. Though he is massive and terrifying, its presence is immense. I think we fear beings like Cthulhu, even if they're real or not. I think we fear beings like that and stand in awe because we realize that as part of ourselves. We realize that there is something in us that we have feared for a long time, since recorded history, and probably far, far before that. That part of ourselves, a little bit different in every person, but that part that is that frenzied madness, that ecstasy, beyond control, beyond habitability with other human beings. And the freedom that such beings offer does not come without incredible danger and the demand that the most powerful be the ones who rule in a world like that. Now, if Cthulhu comes from Riley, and I'm not somebody who follows Cthulhu, but I am very interested in Cthulhu and the Ancient Ones, the corpse god Cthulhu being the high priest of the Ancient Ones in the Necronomicon of H.P. Lovecraft. And people who believe in Cthulhu and H.P. Lovecraft's work think that he actually found something far deeper than anything that he was in and of himself, his imagination. They believe that he tapped into something that is far deeper, far more ancient than recorded record dictates. And recorded record that we have doesn't date back more than several thousand years, maybe a little bit more than that, but as far as how long the universe has existed, how long has it been since the Big Bang, assuming that's the correct creationary truth about how everything came to be. People who believe in Cthulhu think that he was the first one of things that were made, and of course Tiamat being destroyed by the elder gods, the gods of order and light, and there is freedom in that darkness, that insanity, that madness that exists in us all if we just embrace it. But that freedom comes at the cost of harmony, of control, of society, of peace. Now, control in society may seem like a terrible phrase, but when you think about it, in order to live together, we have to have a certain sense of control of ourselves. Now, if we completely get rid of control of ourselves, we become worshippers of beings like Cthulhu. Maybe not Cthulhu himself or even being separate, but that dark void within ourselves that connects everything around controlled spaces, around the edge of light. And as far as beings, chaotic beings go, and as far as freedom goes, whatever freedom they offer, we have to realize that it's very bound in limited time. Somebody can be destroyed very quickly in the ecstasy of frenzy, of complete and utter violence, of loss of control. In Lovecraft's works, there's a reason why the Ancient Ones have cities that are geometrically maddening, architecture specifically, and have beings that seem like abominations, different combinations of things that exist completely separate from each other, yet have this very strange alien language that unites them, and these alien concepts that unite them. And I think that's what interests me about these beings like Cthulhu, is that they're so alien to what we know, and they're so beyond even things like something like Satan, something like Surt from the Nordic pantheon, something like, of course, Loki, that's also the Nordic pantheon, something like the Path of Smoke in the ancient Arabic tradition, something like Mara in the Buddhist tradition, illusion, a god of illusion in a way. So beyond things that are familiar to humanity, that that we don't know how to grasp them even. And they seem very evil, but they're so alien that it doesn't seem right to say that they're on the side of Satan or the side of good, God. Because they're a combination of madness that is unintelligible to the common man, to the common mind of a human being. And that part of ourselves is always just beyond the threshold of the mind, just beyond what we can comprehend, what we usually see, what we engage in the world at large, just beyond that, on the borders, in the void, in the dark void, always sleeping, always dreaming, always thrusting itself into our dreams, in a sense, of course, but also thrusting itself into our daydreams and our fears. And fear is very maddening, very chaotic, and that madness exists in us all, just beyond the threshold of conception. Now, what I wanted to say about Cthulhu in this has basically been said, but I also want to say something else. People like me who are interested in spiritual deities or concepts or magic just beyond what is commonplace, even in the magical and spiritual community, we want to understand that which is beyond, that which is in the void, that which is beyond the threshold of what we usually comprehend. And that has the danger of bringing madness. I don't want to throw out the word, you're going to go to hell if you believe in Cthulhu, or you're going to go to hell if you believe in Loki, if you're a Lokian madman, which is somebody who basically embraces insanity and tries to push somebody or society in general beyond the inertia that it inevitably becomes stagnated in without the chaotic forces of the universe. And the same can be said about Satan. There would be complete inertia without Satan, is what Satanists would say, LeVay. But we have to understand that our conceptions of things are very confining, and that a little bit of spur of madness can actually strengthen our understanding of the light. You have to see darkness, you have to understand darkness before you can truly comprehend light. And, I haven't really talked about specifics about Cthulhu and things like that. I just want to throw out some ideas about chaotic forces like this. And alien chaotic forces are very interesting to me. And Cthulhu is like one of the main ones that is in the mainstream of the occult, of magical circles, of people who search within the realm of literature that is accessible to us, that simply don't have the skill to go out completely by themselves in the mind and reach out, don't have the skill to reach out in the mind into the multiverse and find these forces with that, but study different books, different texts, whether they be mostly fantasy, all fantasy, fantasy with mostly true but with some fantasy or completely true. These lines, they intermix with beings like Cthulhu. And I would love to hear what you have to think about Cthulhu and beings like Cthulhu, chaotic alien forces that guarantee freedom, but at the cost of following the doctrine of might is right. That promise ecstasy at the cost of harmony. That promise a state of being completely individualized, but allows one to be inhibited by other state of beings, other individuals with their state of beings, influencing us completely if they have the power to do so. That's the cost. Now, I would love to hear from anybody, like I said, and I would gladly engage in a discussion about Cthulhu and the Ancient Ones. I don't know a lot about them, and I've read most of the Necronomicon, I've read it all, and I've researched Cthulhu, but I don't have a vast array of knowledge, so I'm willing to admit that, and I'm willing to learn, and I will continue discussions like this about things just beyond the threshold of what we comprehend. That inevitable madness that will be interjected at one time or another into our existence. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.